Welcome back to Risky. I'm Riley, and today we're going to talk about one of the most iconic companies when it comes to tuning two-stroke engines. They've been making exhaust systems for over 45 years for motorcycles, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, and you guessed it, stand-up jet skis. Let's go check out Factory Pipe. Let me give you some context of how I met the owner of Factory Pipe, Ross Liberty. I was working at a trade show. I sell 3D printers for a living, and he was in our booth wondering how 3D printers can work for him and how he can bring this new innovation into his company. I saw his name tag, I immediately saw Factory Pipe, and I knew who he was, and I started a conversation and we just hit it off, and eventually I was lucky enough to get invited down to his facility in Ukiah, California, where all these exhaust systems are made. You know me, I obviously jumped at the opportunity to go see Factory Pipe in person, so I hopped in my car and I drove from Portland area all the way down to Ukiah, California. And I have to say, when I first pulled up to the facility, I was really surprised. It's a lot bigger than I thought. They even have this really cool Factory Pipe sign on the front that changes color at night. I just thought it was super cool. I was like a kid in a candy store for sure. Ross even had his beat up YZ250 in the back of his truck. I thought this was pretty cool because he's 64 years old and he's still getting after it. When you walk in the entryway, there's a table set up with a bunch of awards from various customers of Factory Pipe. They send these in appreciation of on-time deliveries and exceptional quality. And on the wall, there is a frame with a cardboard drawing on it. It's like drawn in Sharpie of expansion chambers for two-stroke exhaust with all these measurements that Ross made when he was probably a kid. I mean, the guy started making exhaust systems when he was 12. Back in the early days, he was building exhaust systems in his parents' garage. They had a 63 Chevy Impala, and Ross disconnected the power steering hoses and hooked them to a homemade hydraulic press. So he would have the stamping dies for the exhaust system in there, and he would turn the wheel to the left to open the press, put the part in there, turn the wheel to the right to close and press the part, and then do the same thing to get it out. And that's how he actually made exhaust systems and sold them to companies. Crazy. I let you guys know on the Risky Instagram that I was going to visit Factory Pipe, and you guys had some great questions. One of the main ones that came up was, what is the name B-Pipe? Where does it come from? It's like this iconic name. Everybody knows the B-Pipe. The very first B-Pipe was actually for a blaster, and that's where the name comes from. It was a blaster pipe, B-Pipe, and they actually just kind of carried over the name because it just stuck. So that's the name. Today, the Factory Pipe facility is 140,000 square feet and employs about 85 people. I've been in manufacturing since I was 12, 13 years old. My dad taught me AutoCAD, so I'm kind of a nerd about this stuff, but I've always worked in manufacturing, and I was really impressed by this facility. They have some really high-tech equipment. They have a couple of CNC sheet lasers. They have dozens of robotic welders. They have a CNC tube bender, 3D scanner, a CMM. A CMM is like, it has a little probe on it, and it's got an arm, and you can measure points of an object by like placing it on the table. You can measure everything about it. The 3D scanner is even more powerful, where it 3D scans the image. If you haven't seen our video about 3D scanning a Superjet hull, check it out. It's really low tech. It was just with an iPad Pro, but it's kind of the same technology, just like not very accurate compared to what these guys have. They have hundreds of tooling die sets, and they do everything from all the tooling design to exhaust design, manufacturing. They pretty much make everything associated with these systems. They even have robotic lasers, like a 3D laser. Is something that I had never seen in use before. It's literally a laser head mounted on a robotic arm. So it's got articulation all around. They use it for trimming exhaust systems to where they used to do it manually, and every part was probably a little bit different, but now they do most of this trimming with the 3D laser. It's very consistent, and it has a wall that the operator is protected from the laser, so they're on the outside. They place the part on the fixture, the entire wall rotates, and then the laser can do its work. While it's working, they can unload that finished part and put in a new raw part, get out of the way, hit the button, and the wall switches again, and it's a continuous process. This is a lot more high-tech company than I expected. They actually use a lot of automotive principles, lean manufacturing, which I'm kind of a nerd about this. It's basically to reduce waste, and you really focus on the process to improve the process in every way possible and eliminate waste in every step along the way. And that just builds quality into the parts that you produce. Rather than having a quality department at the end that just says, hey, this one's bad, this one's good, and throw away the bad ones, this is a whole different approach where you build quality into the process. For instance, in 2020, Factory Pipe delivered roughly 300,000 exhaust systems to their customers, and they had one bad one. That is incredible. On Instagram, we posted, what's the biggest question you have for the owner? And it was definitely, why so slow? Why do I have to always wait for my B-pipe? Why can't I get one? Why don't you make more? It's because the jet ski industry is about this big, and Factory Pipe makes 99% of their exhaust systems outside of the Yamaha Superjet. With these big companies and these huge orders, they have to make products on time every single time. That leaves us riding Yamaha Superjets kind of at the bottom of the totem pole for getting factory B-pipes. The way I see it, we're really lucky to have a company with this much technology and this much understanding to be building exhaust systems for such a tiny industry. During this trip, I spent most of my time getting to know Ross one-on-one and just exploring the facility, and I didn't have a chance to do like an interview process on camera. I hope this video gets a lot of traction on YouTube because I want to get Ross to make a one-on-one tuning video where he teaches us on camera to share with you guys how to get the most out of your B-pipe, why he designed it the way he did, kind of picking his brain about how this thing works and why it's higher performance than anything else. If you guys like that idea, hit us up in the comments. Let's convince Ross to make this happen, and I will do my best, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.